and this is our first platinum level game of the CTL. And spawning up here in the upper left-hand position, in the teal color, playing for the team Guns and Roaches, it is NiNKasi. I think NIN is going to be a clan tag, and his name is just going to be Kasi. That's what I'm going to go with until I hear any differently. And spawning down here, his team trails 2-1. Can he bring the series back even? It is the orange Zerg player playing for the King's Men. It's Treetop. And our first TVZ here of CTL. Again, this is a platinum level game. I know I've already said that. My name is Meristmatic. If you're just joining us, thank you for watching. Hopefully you are enjoying this. This is the Chobo Team League. It's a best of 7 series between two teams made up of bronze through platinum level players, and the skill levels will alternate throughout the set. Treetop apparently a little bit nervous about this game. Maybe his first real important game. I guess Kasi is as well. And it's a really unique situation and a really great experience for a lot of these guys to play a game a little bit more on the line than your average ladder game. And it's a really great way to force yourself to improve. And the ultimate goal of the league, of course, is to see everybody get into Diamond and all be Masters League players. And then we can sit back and laugh. Treetop looks like he's going to go for that 15 hatchery, and we'll see. It looks like a pretty standard macro game. Kasi doesn't look like he wants to do any pressure immediately, otherwise we would see one of these gas geysers already taken. So this will probably be like a gasless 1 Rax expand, and we'll fall back into that macro style, and we'll see if our players do something a little out of the ordinary to try and catch their opponent off guard. They're just going to play as standard and safe as possible. Those will tend to be the two extremes that you really see. You won't see anything really in the middle ground. There's the spawning pool following up. It's a 15 hatch followed by 16 pool for the Treetop. And Kasi going for the orbital command. It looks like Treetop might be trying to delay the eventual command center. Kasi's Marine going to get out and start targeting down that drone. There are cute little plays where you can try and save it by turning it into a gas geyser. It doesn't look like he wants to do that. Oh, he's going to sneak into the main, and that's really awesome by Treetop. And he'll be able to see... Okay, now he'll be able to see that his opponent doesn't have a gas geyser yet, and that's important for him. Just as important would be seeing the command center back outside. But this is kind of annoying. We see both players not really too intent on their micro, really focusing on their macro there. Shot going down onto the drone. 10 HP left, 4, and it will go down. Back over here, Kasi is scouting around. He's making some sort of star pattern, it looks like. This might be a person with a weird hat. Let's CV very confused. His rally point telling him to go over here into the cactus, and he's like, no, I can't do it. It's all the way over there. It does look like he's wearing a jetpack, so I'm not sure why they can't go up to cliffs. That's a story for another time. Treetop, meanwhile, making quite a few Zerglings. There's 6 of them out already, and that's more than you usually see. The usual number is 4. Some players will even get away with 2. He'll be able to take that control with this, take control of these Naga towers, and feel pretty safe about it about on his way. But if we look, both players, Kasi actually didn't see the spawning pool, or even the far gas geyser. But Treetop is going for that gas geyser. This will probably be Zergling speed, and it looks like he will focus on taking a quicker third, going to take down these destructible rocks. Zergling scout up at the front. He sees about the number of Marines his opponent has, and won't be alarmed in any way about that. Kasi follows up his 1 Rax expand with 3 barracks going up for tech labs as well, and a factory off that double gas. And everything looking very estendardo, as they would say in Spanish. I actually don't know Spanish, so they might not say that at all. But we're at 24 drones to 23 SCVs. The lead will be taken right now by Treetop, but he just had 7 spawns. Now we're 31 to 24. And both players just going to macro up a storm. There's even a second tech lab coming up from Kasi, and he will either hit an aggressive timing here, or he wants to get out a ton of marauders. And Marauders are really making a comeback in this matchup, not just as a counter to Roaches, but just in general, as they can absorb Baneling hits pretty well, especially compared to Marines. They require a little bit less micro than these Marines do, especially when faced with Banelings. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, and it may be an aggressive timing with Combat Shield and Stim Pack that he's trying to hit. You can probably get out a couple of Medivacs as well. So it looks like he will stick on Marine Medivac, at least for now. And there's a quick double engineering bay as well. And really focusing on those upgrades for the Marines provides a lot of power, but you are kind of vulnerable early game, and you're really vulnerable to Banelings unless you're great at splitting. Now Treetop, meanwhile, I don't know if he's sniffed this out, or if this is part of his normal defense, but there are 26 Zerglings on the way, along with Zerglings being a Baneling nest. And this is a little bit many Zerglings to be just defensive. I don't think a Baneling bust would necessarily work against this unless his opponent just completely skimps on ever getting siege tanks. It looks like he's going to delay them quite a bit, but they will be up for Kasi eventually. But we'll see if this is an aggressive timing. He has an Evo chamber as well as that lair. Those pings are from the Observer and pointing out Overlord, it looks like. I'm not sure why Observer pings get put into the game off the replays. But it is going to be Marauders. It looks like he's going to get that concussive shell, and all three of these infantry upgrades are very, very quick, which will usually indicate an aggressive timing. But I don't think that's what Kasi wants to do. He's going to get out these Medivacs quickly, and his first aggression will really be these drops. And these pings are going to start bothering me, because I naturally just want to look at them, but they're not so important. That's a Zergling sitting there. It'll be great to give him vision over these drops headed out, and we'll see exactly which path Kasi wants to take. It looks like he's going to go back behind, and he'll fly right directly past this Overlord. The other Medivac does split, and he'll fly directly over this Zergling. So if Treetop is paying attention, he should scout out both of these drops and be able to defend accordingly by splitting his forces a little bit. He's got a couple of these defensive Banelings, there's 6 of them, and another ping going down from our Observer, and he's starting to bother me, and I don't know who he is. Treetop, meanwhile, not the best macro right now. He's a little bit gas-starved and not harvesting enough minerals. Now he's taking 3 more extractors, which will sort that out. He has his infestation pit on the way somewhere. It might be down in the natural. There it is. So the infestation pit on the way, and if we look, the path of these Medivacs has been tracked exactly by all of these Overlords and Overseers. Now the army still isn't in the best position to try and defend this, and the drop will come down here from Kasi into the 3rd base. Now some of these Zerglings moving back to defend. The rest of the army caught up here at the watchtower. A little bit of damage being done. He will just pick that one back up, but there's the drop in the main. At the same time, he's starting to take down a couple of these workers, up to 10, 11, now 12. That's doing a lot of damage. And really nice multitasking by Kasi. He takes down the Queen as well, and he'll start targeting down a lair. This drop's still not really accounted for, and he'll start re-dropping that. The Queen should be focusing down the Medivac, but he isn't. The army now going to rush back in here, and Treetop not doing a very good job defending despite having this scouted out. Nice pickup back in the main by Kasi. One at the 3rd base has been cleaned up, and you'll have to get away with that Medivac. Oh, that Queen doing a lot of damage to it, but it looks like it'll get away. So really nicely done so far by Kasi. 17 workers killed. He wasn't able to target down any of these buildings. Half of them look like they went after the spawning pool, half went after the lair. He got a Queen as well, which will really limit the larva. So this will be kind of the last gigantic wave of units from Treetop for a little bit. 56 Zerglings on the way, but he's stuck on lane Baneling. And the drop will come back into the main. He's trying to pick off the spawning pool, and those Zerglings not going to be enough to defend. He will trade very well with those. Now, I would love to see him target down the spawning pool. As it is, he's kind of split. Another couple of drones will go down. Now, finally, targeting that spawning pool. It's getting really low. In come the Zerglings. I don't think they'll be able to save it, actually. Oh, never mind. They will retarget there. And Kasi not doing the best control of that. Meanwhile, the counterattack coming up here to the 3rd base of the Terran player. That will be defended very nicely by Kasi, as Treetop just kind of being thwarted everywhere. The drop picks up and will get away with a couple of units remaining. Was unable to get the spawning pool, but nicely defended over at the 3rd. A couple of siege tanks out now for our Terran player. bunkers at the front now. Even with more barracks at the third base, he's looking really well entrenched in this game. 1-1 is done for both players. 2-2 not quite thought of. The infestation pit's done, and so is pathogen glands, but there aren't any on the field quite yet. And those couple infestors could really turn the tide in this game. As most players know, infestors can literally kill every bio unit. Treetop, meanwhile, I think, way behind in workers, 52 to 23. Just a little bit of checking up here at the front done by Treetop. He does see the siege tanks and kind of the positioning of Kasi. 20 workers killed so far in this game, and I feel like Treetop has just been really focused on his unit production, and he's been caught behind on his workers. And now his economy just floundering in comparison to his opponent. 58 SCVs to 32 drones is ridiculous. And if this game lasts too much longer, it'll just start to spiral out of control for our Zerg player. More reactors finished up, and now he's going to make 8 Marines, 2 Marauders, a siege tank, and a Viking at a time. I think Kasi has a poor read on his opponent. He's getting a lot of these missile turrets back in his base. He's getting Vikings, and those aren't countering a whole lot. I think he believes Treetop is going for those Mutalisks, but that's not quite the case. 3 infestors finally out, and those will help him a lot, and they do give him a lot of power. As I look, Kasi got 1 Viking, which means he might just be picking off Overlord's long drop routes. And this is a scary looking drop. There's 6 medevacs full of units. He needs to be really careful with that, because a couple of these medevacs a little bit dinged up, and if they get intercepted by queens or just take a couple unfortunate shots, that can be really damaging. This Overlord in a good position. We'll see if Treetop actually spots this, though. I mean, he'll spot this definitely on the minimap. We can see it. Does he actually see it, though? Those are 2 different things, especially at this level. Now, there's going to be a little bit of poke toward the middle of the map. It looks like he wants to try and clean up some of this creep in the middle of the map. The creep spread is ridiculous from Treetop, I have to say, especially for a platinum level player. And I'm a little bit afraid for Treetop now. He's going to, looks like, try and engage this little army. But the real danger coming into his main right now, that injured medevac not going to be a problem. It isn't picked off. Siege tanks sieging up. They will do a lot of damage to themselves there on their first volley, thanks to some of these broodlings. But now in comes the army of Treetop to try and defend. The siege tanks are kind of caught in the back, but he's not going to focus those down immediately. Bailing's going to roll in. There's nowhere really to micro. Big hits. He picks up some of the bridges of the medevacs, and the siege tanks left over. A couple of infested turrets being lobbed in. There's a nice fungal road going down onto some of these units, and Treetop's kind of defending, but a lot of damage has been done. The lair's gone down, the spawning pool's gone down, and basically the entire army. He's left with these infestors. He's trying to do what he can with them, which is basically fungal this army to death, but the medevac count is really high, and that's going to keep him in the game. The broodlings actually cleaned up all the siege tanks after killing the Baneling nest, which is kind of funny. So he's left with just Marines and Marauders here, but he can't produce anything other than infestors right now. The spawning pool and the Baneling nest have gone down. Even one of the Evo chambers, but not the other one, strangely enough. And there's the G from Treetop. And Kasi has taken game number 4 for Guns N' Roaches, and that puts them 1 game away from just taking the series outright. So we'll head into game number 5. We're going to drop back down to the silver level after this. So please stay tuned for that. My name is Maristamatic. Thank you for watching my stream. If you like the casts, please follow me. That's directly below me right now. We'll be right back with game number 5 between Guns N' Roaches and the King's Men. Guns N'